So I just had one of those moments that honestly made like my hair stand on, on the back of my neck. So I've been recording a video about the Vintage Deluxe, which should be released hopefully on Sunday, which is like an in-depth knob twiddling video because an amp needs that, like a new amp. So I do that. It's probably a half an hour video just showing you what all the controls do, right? And I thought I'd take a break and I picked up the Junior double cut there at the back, which has the vintage early mid 50s P90, the dog ear in it. And I love playing that guitar. It's definitely a contender for my number one. That's something we'll broach in another video. Anyway, what I wanted to do was just very quickly for myself feel what it was like to set up a sound I liked and then just turn the master volume as low as it would go. I'm like buzzing because I can't actually believe this is going to sound like this, right? What you'll hear is I've got the sound and then it's reasonably loud if you see the dB meter. Then I drop the master as low as it will go. And then in my editing, I increase the volume so that it sounds like the same volume as a normal loud clip would sound without me changing the volume in my editor, right? Because that's going to show you the quality of the sound. And I'll just say this off the bat, I haven't tried an amp before that stays this good at this quiet of a volume. I was saying this in the video I'm filming that's coming out on Sunday. I was doing a section on how quiet it could be. But I need you guys to see this because I think, this amp is on loan to me with the option I can buy it if I really want to, of course. I wasn't sure. Now this has pushed me a long way forward. So I'll butt in a couple of times during this few minutes of playing. It was really just casual. I wasn't necessarily going to use this footage. So there's some mistakes and I stop and I start again and whatever. But I've kept most of it in and I'm playing with a slide, which for some reason I still find really difficult to use on the top E string of a normal guitar that has normal strings on it. So I've cut out a bit of that, but you might see a few bits where it's not very good. But it was just the feeling and the sound of this has like shaken me. So I turn off the texture that was up. So honestly, like half an hour later, I'm still absorbing that really because looking at those dB numbers, yeah, sometimes it might have spiked into the late 80s, but really in the room it was so quiet, and I had to increase the volume in the editing by so much to make it the same as what it would normally be with the master up, where I'd keep it normally. And this means this amp is something really special because all of the tonal characteristics, the texture and the grain, the grit and the grind, they were there even with the amp so quiet. Like, the speaker is really special, clearly the preamp is really special, and considering Two Rock say in the manual that as you increase the power you will get more sort of overdrive and it will open up the amp more, the fact that it can do this at such a low master volume and not be sterile is incredible. I'm reminded of the SWAT Antares master that I played recently, which when I say reminded I mean because that's not what happened on that amp. You know, that's a great amp in its own right, but yet you turn the master down, it can go very quiet, but it doesn't feel like you're playing the same amp, right? You lose a lot of the feeling and the dynamic and the texture. But this is giving me that grind and grit I want for the swampy 6v6 low wattage tones for the sort of playing I want to do, the Delta stuff, the slide, and this P90 sort of thing. It's spectacular, honestly, to me. And meaning that you can play it at home and you can also use it at gigs where you have to be quiet and be mic'd up and all of those things, because that's what this is. This is mic'd up. And they can just increase the volume to the front of house as they wish. Honestly, this takes me from like, I'm not sure about this amp. You know, it's a great amp, but do I need it? Do I want it? To, okay. Like a guitar that I love, a sound that I love, and this ability to play with this many different alternative sounds in this one box as well. You know, now when I say that, you know, this amp sounds like it sounds, but with these little switches and the controls on the back and everything you can do, it has a lot of nuance. But we'll get to that in the video that's coming out on Sunday, hopefully. So look, I hope you've enjoyed this one. The playing, as I said, it was me just soaking in the fact of how quiet that was, and yet it felt so great. So I hope I've got that across to you, that should answer people's questions about whether you can play this quietly or not. Okay, I'm going to go back and carry on with the next video. Cheers.